Hey folks, Jessica here. Today we're doing something a bit different. I had asked in a previous video if you guys would like me to cover and give impressions on other gacha games and mobile games I'm playing besides Granblue Fantasy, and the resounding answer was yes. So today we're going to talk Genshin Impact. This game came out on Monday, and you might have already heard some about it, because it is taking the gacha and mobile world by storm. This game has so much hype behind it, and I'm going to try and be balanced with my thoughts on it, but I think a lot of the hype's justified. There are so many really amazing things going on here. It's just a beautiful game, first and foremost. And you might be thinking, this is an MMO, right? Or like a console RPG. Why are you talking about this on your channel? This is very out of line with the rest of the stuff on your channel. And the answer is no, this is a mobile game. It's a gacha game. I'm playing on the PC client. However, I have played on my phone, and it absolutely works fine on the phone. There's also a PS4 client, and I think they were talking about adding a Switch client at some point. I'm not sure when that's supposed to happen, but that, I think, is in the cards. So, yeah, this can be played on a wide variety of platforms, and they're all cross-play. Like, I was doing a co-op, this is co-op too, by the way, a co-op team with, like, a person on a PS4 and a person on the phone all at the same time. It worked fine. It's really incredible. I'm gonna forewarn you though, if you want to use your phone as the primary platform you play this on, you're gonna want a beefy phone. So I've got like an iPhone XR, and that's a fairly new phone. That's like what? That was like top of the line 2 years ago? Yeah, I think 2 years ago is when I got it. So it's a nice phone, but even on that, it gets a little warm if you play for a while. And I've heard some people playing on lower end phones, it works fine, but your phone starts feeling like it's gonna melt at some point. If you're like running on a really old phone, or not even really old, but like maybe like 4-year-old phone, it's probably gonna start feeling like you're gonna turn your phone into slag if you play it all the time. So keep that in mind. But it is completely free to play, and your saves, I believe, between phone and PC are compatible. You can share data. I had heard that you can't share data between PS4 and phone and PC. I don't have confirmation on that myself because I haven't tried it. So someone let me know if that's the case down below. But yeah, there's a lot of platforms you can check this out on, and it's just an amazing game. As you can see, it's an action RPG. I'm in Mondstadt right now. It's the German town. There's several regions. Each one of them are kind of themed after different countries. So Mondstadt is German. The Earth place. What is the name of this place? This place, this section of the map that I can't remember the name of is China. And then there's like going to be a Japan region, a Russia region, various other regions. I think they're doing it in Egypt also, at least based on the theming I was reading. So it's a very expansive world. And here, let me just run around outside. I'm in town right now, but if you run around out here, let me just teleport. The loading's not actually too bad. I'm just impatient. You can see it's a big, wide, expansive world that you can go check out stuff in. Here, let's kill some of these idiots. And yeah, it's an action RPG. You've got a team of characters that you can switch between, and there's some pretty fun combat here. It's definitely engaging combat. Like the combat in this game is good. I really like the action RPG combat in it. We'll talk about that in more detail in a second. But yeah, you can see it's a huge ass world that you can explore, and there's lots of hidden stuff to find, like treasure and like I can't remember what they're called in Breath of the Wild, but like there's a lot of stupid collectibles to get. Except for in this game, you've got to get them. They're called oculuses. There's a Minoculus and a Geoculus, and those give you increased stamina and stats and currency and stuff. So like there's lots of stuff from around the world and collect, and you're very encouraged to do that. There's also a lot of cute hidden things. I've explored this region pretty thoroughly though, so I don't think there's any chests around here. Maybe there is. But yeah, it's just a lush, huge world with lots of stuff to do. Like, I cannot give this game enough props for the overall like scope it strives for and largely achieves. If you like Breath of the Wild, you'll love this game, because one of the the criticisms a lot of people have leveled at it is that it's a Breath of the Wild clone. I don't think that's entirely fair. It definitely takes inspiration from Breath of the Wild, that's for certain. However, there's a lot of things that are much different in Breath of the Wild. The combat's definitely way deeper than Breath of the Wild. You've got a much more robust storyline than Breath of the Wild. There's many voiced characters. There's obviously the gacha system, pro or con, depending on how you feel about gacha. And you have some team building elements. This is Kiki. Kiki has the cutest run. Look at her go. She's a little she's actually a zombie, I think. I haven't gotten her a story chapter yet where you find out her backstory, but from what I was reading, Kiki is in fact a zombie. She looks like a hopping vampire, actually. Now that I think about it, that's like a Chinese folklore creature, right? A hopping vampire. I think that's what her stylization is based on. But yeah. So here, let me jump into a fight, and I'll show you what the combat looks like, because that's going to be a big selling point for a lot of people. To show off combat, we are in a domain. Domains are little mini dungeons / challenges / boss fights that you do to get materials to ascend characters and their weapons. Let me pull this up real quick. If you hit ascend, you'll need materials, and often you'll get these from domains. So you're going to be doing these a lot. They're not too challenging at my level, but as you get later in the game, they're going to get harder. And yeah, this is a good place to show off how combat works. A lot of combat is about the interplay of different elements and how they mix together. So this is Venti. He's an anime character. He is that. He's an animo character, and that's Wind. And he's also a bard, obviously, and he's a wind god. Surprise. But wind allows you to mix with elements like fire in order to cause the swirl effect. So if wind hits fire, it becomes swirl, and that spreads the fire to a bunch of other enemies. And then you can combine fire with Electro, which is what Fischl here or Kei-Ching both bring, and that causes overload, and all the different combinations have different effects. I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's very interesting. There's a lot of play there. So I'm going to just start this fight, and I'm going to use Venti's ult here in order to put Animo on everybody. Like that, and suck them in because it's a vortex. And then I'll use Deluxe to drop a giant Phoenix in here, which is total overkill, but it's combining all the elements to spread and do a ton of damage. And then I can switch over to Fischl, Midnight Phantasmagoria, and summon Oz, her Raven, her German Raven. They're both super German, by the way. There's also like a first person, not first person, but like third person over shoulder aiming mode like that you can do. Let's see, who's recharged? Kei-Ching is recharged, and so is Deluxe, so I can combine those two things, but I'll wait for another wave to do that. Everyone's got their own little skills. Fischl can summon Oz, Venti can do that little poofy thing, Deluxe has a giant mega damage fire sword combo. And let's do Venti into Kei-Ching, which will really mess these guys up. And yeah, like, that wasn't too hard or anything, but like I'm way over what is required for this since I'm running like 3 5-star characters and I'm also over level on this. But that's how you do that, and then we'll go claim our reward. So you kind of get an idea what the combat's like. I'm not gonna get too far into like the fights because this is just supposed to be a brief impression, but if that sounds like an interesting like sequence of stuff going on to you, then like definitely consider checking out this game. You'll like it. Let's look more at some open world stuff. Actually, one more thing I should mention before we move on to open world stuff. If you're coming at this game from Honkai 3rd Impact, which I think a lot of people are since that's miHoYo's other game, you should expect the combat here to not be nearly as tight. So if you're not familiar with Honkai, Honkai is an action RPG. You have a team of 3 characters, etc. They're all super cute girls. And it's also a super like anime themed and actiony. But in that one, you're doing all kinds of crazy combos and setups that require really tight timing and a lot of planning. And that's not the case here. That's not to say there's anything lacking in this game, but how dare you? It's not going to be on the same level as Honkai, because Honkai is more like a Devil May Cry or even a fighting game than you would expect from this type from a mobile game. This guy is being a jerk. So yeah, be forewarned there if you're expecting that same kind of complexity. Like to give you perspective, you've not played Honkai. Honkai has this thing. You give characters weapons, of course, but you also give them stigmatas, a set of 3 stigmatas, and stigmatas are things uh, Newton Bottom is the really popular one. If you switch a character out with that, it gives a buff to the next character effectively. I'm super summarizing and not being entirely accurate, but it causes the next character in to get a buff through the damage, but only lasts 5 seconds. So, like, strats would be, oh my god. Strats would be do stuff like have one character start the fight, and then they pre-cast a skill before the boss is even in the arena. It's timed so it will hit as soon as the boss comes in the arena. And then they'll switch out, and the next character will pop in and cast a skill, and then perfect dodge a boss attack to trigger like the quick time activation of another character's skill, and they'll jump in and deal like the third character in the line will be like a crazy damage dealer, and because you manage to do all these swaps within the space of like maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds. You have all the buffs stacked for like 3 seconds, and you try and apply all these vulnerabilities and stack them so you can burst the boss with enough damage to completely take it from like full to 0 in the space of 1 animation cycle, so it doesn't do the stupid annoying thing where it dashes across the room and makes it hard to hit because you're trying to get like top 100 score in Memorial Arena in order to rank and you know, get rewards and get your cool frame. I'm speaking from experience here, but you get the idea. Like, it's not that complex, so don't come to it expecting that. Expect what you see. Like, they're cool, fun fights, and there's some interplay of character abilities, but it's nothing too crazy. I'm certainly not like super pressured to execute perfectly or anything, but it is fun. How do I stop this boss from regen? Is it? Yeah, it's these fucking things. Okay, these stupid cubes all have this mechanic where they try and regen themselves at the last second, and you've got to grab all these fucking things. Can I get the last one? No! I fucked up. Fucked up! I was so close. Okay, fine. Do one more cycle. Hate these things. You're just delaying the inevitable, asshole. Get down here. It's over. Vanish into darkness, etc. How'd that become my catchphrase? It's trying to bring out Venti because Venti has this very fair and balanced ability to summon a wind gust at any time, so you don't need to rely on the in-game wind gust. Because Venti has 4-star or 5-star privilege. More of that later. Oh, was I supposed to hit it one more time? I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. Well, when it goes through the cycle, we'll move on. I just need to end this guy's life. Okay, it's dead. So yes, moving on. Just in this area over here to show off how massive and grandiose the world can be. Like, look at this place. All these places in the distance you can go to, and like there's usually stuff there to get and do. Like, you can glide all over the places I was showing you. Venti is cool because he's got this ability to give himself a wind poof because he is a wind god, and it lets you get further when you glide. And just look, it's just so much gorgeous stuff. I cannot get over the fact that this is on a phone, and I just noticed over there that there's a little shrine that I haven't opened yet, which I totally want the loot from. So I'm gonna go over there. Maybe we'll go to the ground, because I actually have a way with this setup to move faster. So this is Mona. She's a 5-star water wizard girl. She's an astrologer, and her thing is she can, well, she's got several things, but her big one is she can dive into the ground like that to avoid damage, but she also moves incredibly fast while she's running through the water like this. It lets her also basically sprint on water, and no other character can sprint in water. Everybody else has got, oh my god, I almost fell. Everybody else has got to swim, and if you run out of stamina, just like Zelda, you freaking drown. So being able to move fast through water is very handy. But yeah, exploration is definitely a big part of the game. And if you're trying to collect all the collectibles, then you're going to be running around a lot. So if that's your jam, then you should definitely also check this out. And you find things like these little chests, which are one of the few ways to get XP, adventure level XP. So I'm going to definitely do this part here. I'm going to put water on these guys with Mona's Decoy, and then summon Oz with Fischl. And then that will give electrocharge everybody, and like that kind of shit is just straight murder to these idiots. So you can see the possibilities here. Am I almost to the little shrine yet? Yeah, we are. There we are. You get to see me open something and get some loot. But yeah, there's stuff like this. You get keys for these things from dungeons and whatnot, and once you open them, you get a little chest. And then you get sweet-ass loot. Well, hopefully sweet-ass loot. Okay, loot. There's a ton of loot in here. I'm not going to talk about what any of this stuff is right now, but I also got some of the premium currency, by the way. Primo gems are the premium currency. And then, in terms of enemies, you also have enemies like these guys, these little abyss mages. This one is a water shield. In order to defeat these guys, you gotta break their shield by combining other elements into it to overload it. By the way, if you're wondering, this is main character. This is me, my main character. There's also a boy version, if you're inclined to play boy characters. They're both voiced, and they both have story. It's not like Gran and Jita in Gran Blue, where Jita and Gran effectively replace each other. These two characters, Lamine and Aether, her brother, are full-on characters with their own stories. The basic like high-level story of the game is you and your brother get separated and you're trying to reunite with them. You're basically like godlike creatures at the beginning, and you get stripped of your powers and cast into this world as like somewhat, like, not really mortals, but like less powerful than you were, and you're trying to reunite with your brother is the overarching narrative of the game. Anyways, let's kill this idiot, because he keeps on bubbling me, and it's super freaking annoying. Here, just bubble this stupid guy. Call out Oz. Once I break his shield, I can use Mona's ult. Mona's ult puts them in a little bubble, and then any of my characters can follow up on the bubble like that. And then get the chest, get the loot, get the XP. So that's a lot of what the open world exploration looks like. Here, let me show you the other city. Want an idea of what the other town looks like? Because, like I said, the place we were before is Germany, so we're going to China. There are a lot of load screens, but they're pretty short, to be honest. They're not that bad. So, yeah, this is Lishu? Is that the name of the city? Lishu? I think that's the name of the city. I'm so bad with names sometimes. But yeah, you can see it's a really gorgeous city. If it sounds like I'm super impressed with this game, I am. I don't want to just sit here and hype up the game, because there are some things we'll talk about that I think might be huge turn-ups for people, but overall, it's a really gorgeous game. Let's talk about characters and weapons and progression, because it's important to remember this is a gacha game at its core. It's a little deceptive in that you might think that it's going to play out like an MMO or a single-player game, but it won't. When I say it's a gacha game at its core, I don't just mean it has a gacha pull mechanic. It's also got progression that's very similar to a gacha game, in that you're going to go fast early on, and then you're going to slow down, and you're going to start hitting walls and then be gated by basically like cycling daily content and whatnot while you're trying to progress through the game. So that's something to be aware of. But the big reason immediately that you're going to notice why it's very much a gacha game at its core is there's a huge roster of characters, and they're all wildly varying in potency, largely based on their rarity, but some other things as well. Hold on. She's so cute. This is Barbara. She is a 4-star healer. She is a very strong healer. That's really a very tight niche that she has. She can't really do much else besides heal. She does the damage of a wet noodle. Literally a wet noodle, because she is a hydro character. However, if we flip over to
I wonder when I'll be...
Kiki. Kiki, also adorable, is a 5-star healer and a zombie. And my animations in this game are so cute. She is a 5-star healer, and really in every way she's better than Barbara. she heals pretty much just as well as Barbara, but she's way more offensively potent, and she's got like her abilities. She can cast them and then get off the field. She's like some little ice spirit that spins around you, so you can like jump in, cast that, and switch out, and the ice spirit will heal whoever you switch to, in addition to freezing things and doing damage for like 30 seconds. So Kiki's got a lot of play there. Her ult is actually very offensively potent in that it can help freeze a ton of people and set them up for things like Electro with Kei-Ching. So like you get that relative idea. Like they're both healers, but the 5-star, the SSR is going to be way more powerful. You do get a bunch of characters for free for playing the story. However, they're pretty universally not great. This is Amber. Amber, like all the characters, is adorable, but she's widely regarded as the worst character in the game. However, you do get her for free, and she is a fire archer. So if you do need a fire archer, she is an option for a free play if you don't roll one. Like the other characters you get through the story, Kea, not really very good. Only good for trying to reach islands because he can freeze water, but so can other ice characters. Lisa is the other free one, not great. One free one that's alright actually is your main character. Your main character is technically a 4-star, but they can switch element. They can be wind and earth, whichever you need. And they're okay. They're not on the same level as the top tier 4-stars or any of the 5-stars, but they're totally serviceable, and the flexibility there gives you a lot of options. And I believe the idea is as they release more regions that are elemental themed, you can switch your main character's elements. So the next one will be fire, so your character will be able to be a fire character, and then there's already the earth version and the wind version. And then you do have some gacha characters that are really bad, like Bennett, 4-star, awful 4-star. Probably the worst gacha 4-star. Noelle is not bad at all, but she's definitely not on the same power level as some of the higher tier characters. You've got characters like Barbara. Barbara is from gacha, but you can actually get her for free if you get to the right adventure level, I believe. So that's a good reason to get the game and check it out. Qiangling is also a 4-star, but she's actually a very good fire character. I usually run her with Diluc. Diluc is a 5-star character and probably the most powerful character in the game by most people's estimations. I really love Diluc. You wouldn't think this would be a character I like, but I think a thing you need to know about him is that he is Batman. Diluc is Batman. This is Bruce Wayne. So his backstory is he is a rich dude that goes out at night as a vigilante to beat the shit out of ne'er-do-wells, like a boss. There's this cutscene in his storyline where he takes on like 30 dudes at once and wrecks them in like super hyper anime fashion, just destroys them. It's really cool. But you get the idea. There's definitely tiers of power in characters. And the 5-stars are definitely, the rarest characters are all at the top. There's one 4-star, Fischl, this German ice princess who, she's so chuny, I love her. She's so German too. She is extremely powerful for a 4-star. She's on the same tier as like Kiki, Diluc, and Venti. She's up there with the top 5-stars, so she's very strong. So there are some 4-stars that can compete. It's not like Granblue where like an SR has no chance of standing anywhere near an SSR, but there is still a power structure. Let's look at weapons because they're also tiered just like characters. You've got anything from 1-star to 5-star. You got weapons both from gacha and from gameplay that are farmable. Gacha weapons generally as a rule are going to be more powerful than crafted farmable weapons, with some exceptions. And the top of that pile is going to be the 5-star gacha weapons. Like this Amos bow is very, very, very powerful compared to something that's not farmable. Also, in addition to that, this might be a turnoff for some people, but a thing to know is it does have a system where you uncap the weapons by ramming copies of them into themselves as well. So if you put an identical weapon into itself, it refines it, and you get refined up to 5 times. And every time you refine it, it dramatically increases the parameters on this thing. That's going to be primarily a stat boost, but there's some cases where that's actually very important. So hang on, let me find the weapon. So there's this series of weapons, the sacrificial weapons, where after damaging an opponent with elemental skill has a 50% chance to end its own cooldown, can only occur once every 26 seconds. As you refine this is refinement level 2, the chance is going to go up and the cooldown is going to go down. So this is a level 5 similar weapon. It's a great sword instead of a sword, but it's the same skill. 80% chance, so very high, every 16 seconds. So you can kind of get an idea that refining this kind of weapon is going to make or break its power level. So that's the thing to know, because if the idea of having to get multiple copies of a gacha weapon to be at the very top of your power peak, like these weapons, it is troubling for you, then you've been forewarned. Also, these gacha weapons tend to have really nice effects that you don't see on non-gacha weapons. So like this 5-star book, increase movement speed by 10%. In addition to when in battle, gain 8% elemental bonus every 4 seconds, max 4 stacks. So this effectively lets me move super freaking quick with Mona compared to anyone else. Like no one else can move as quick as someone using that book with various other movement speed bonuses. So yes, there's definitely advantages to doing well in the gacha system. And let's talk about the gacha system. And again, it's important to mention that the progression here is like a gacha game in that, yes, it does look like an open world game, like an MMO, and it is in many ways. A lot of stuff to explore and do all over the place, places to see. There's a big quest journal of stuff to do, characters have stories and places in the world. It's very well built out, but underlying all that is a system that plays more like a gacha game in that it's slow and it's gated by time. So most of the things you do, like finding a chest or anything in the world, let's see if I can just find a random chest while I yak at you, will give you XP, adventure XP. But the chest and all the collectibles are finite. Chests, besides the common chests don't, or the common chests respawn, but the other chests don't, and they're one of the ways you get XP. Quests are all pretty much one-time completable, besides repeatable dailies. And then everything else that gives XP is going to be gated on this stat here, resin. Resin's basically stamina. There's a few ways to restore it through gems, the currency, or through some items you can get. They're very limited, called, I think, fragile resin or something. So when you have finished everything in the game, you've done all the quests, you've collected all the non-responding chests, then your XP progression is going to be gated based on resin. That's going to be the biggest gate. You can try and find the chests that do respawn. That's going to be really tedious and slow, but that is a thing that people that have been playing for a while, that have done everything, do end up doing. So keep that in mind. You will hit a point where you've done everything and you're just logging in to basically do your dailies and spend your resin until new content comes out. So in that way, it is very much like a gacha game. And that's fine if you know what you're getting into. Because, you know, we play gacha games, we know what stamina is, and we know, like, the general piecing of a gacha game. But if you approach this and you get, like, wide-eyed and like, I'll have infinite things to do, well, you won't. You'll run out of things to do, and when you do run out, you're gonna basically just be stepping slightly ahead every day on reset. And then like certain like bosses also are like weekly reset, like this wolf who drops really good loot is like a weekly reset, so you see it's resetting. So in that way, it's more like a gacha game, more like an MMO. It's like slow progression forward instead of just being able to do as much as you want. Even stuff like these nodes, like these collectible nodes, they have a time to respawn. I think stuff like the bird eggs are like, I think it's like a day. It's either a day or 3 days. I know like some of the mining nodes are 3 days. So keep that all in mind. It's going to take you a while. There's a ton of shit here. There's easily like probably 40 hours of content, 50 hours of content easily that you can do. But once you do it all, you're going to have to be at the mercy of dailies and stamina, resin. Okay, so this is important to know. Let's pull up the gacha. So there's a gacha system. You pull for characters, fairly standard. However, the thing that is not fairly standard is the rates. And this is gonna be a deal breaker for some people, and if that is for you, I understand. But the rate for an SSR in this, I mentioned this in another video, is 0.6%. Perspective. I've mentioned this before, but Grand Blue, 3% chance of an SSR. On rate up, so a fest, 6% chance, plus a safety system. Arknights, 2% chance. Fate Grand Order, typically considered the worst one, 1%. This thing is 0.6%. So that's going to be really yikes for people. There is, however, this guarantee. Every 90 pulls, you're guaranteed a 5-star. So that's big. Because, to be honest, more often than not, your 5 stars are going to be coming from this guarantee, not from just random pulls. This causes a few things to happen. Also, let's look at a character banner, because that was the general banner. A character banner, the first time you pull a 5-star, so guaranteed after 90 pulls, it's a 50% chance it's going to be a promo character, so Venti in this case. 50% chance it's going to be everyone else on the banner, so all the other 5-stars, who are all good, by the way. So if you're targeting Venti, you have 50% chance when you get that first 5-star. However, the second time you pull a 5-star, it will be the banner character. This can only happen once, by the way. If you're trying to get multiple Ventis, then, well, you're just going to have to luck into the rest of them. So, in theory, if you do 90 pulls, you're guaranteed to get an SSR. If you do 180, you're guaranteed to get the banner character. So that's nice. It does mean, like, you know, after 180 pulls, you will get what you're looking for. And I should note, the pulls are slightly cheaper in this than in Grand Blue. I think a pull is like 25 bucks in this compared to Grand Blue, if you're the kind of person that cares about this stuff. There's also a weapon pull, which will only have 5 stars as weapons. Some important caveats, though, because that's where this is going to really inform your decisions as to whether or not you want to invest in this, is if you're pulling on this banner, this is the permanent banner. This has weapons and characters at 5-star, and they're equally likely to show up. So you pull a 5-star on this banner, it might very well be a weapon. And the weapons are all good. However, it's understandable that a lot of people will be more excited about getting characters than weapons. So do keep that in mind. You can't guarantee a character on a banner like this because you have both mixed in. Another thing to note, your pulls on the Venti banner, for example, character banner, a cycling banner, don't carry over. So if you're building towards that 90 guarantee, you really want to not pull unless you can actually hit the 90 guarantee before the banner rotates out, because the next banner comes along, that guarantee doesn't carry over. If you're pulling a permanent banner, it does carry over because this thing never rotates out. Another thing to note with, and I know I'm getting the real nuance here, but honestly, the rates are what are gonna they're going to be very informative in a lot of the decisions you make. So I think it's important to talk through them thoroughly. But the other thing to note here is that guarantee, it resets every time you pull a 5-star. So if you're building towards 90 and you pull a 5-star, then it's not like, if you pull like if you pull 88 things and the 89 as a 5-star, that doesn't mean 90 is also going to be 5-star because of the guarantee. It actually resets back. So it's if you don't get a 5-star by 90. So that's important to know too, because that can be confusing for folks as well. So what does this mean practically? For a person that is going to actually spend a bit of money, if you're just trying to get the 5 stars, it's actually going to be a little bit cheaper than Grand Blue. You're going to have to invest less or save less because the pulls are cheaper, and it's 90 to get the character instead of 300 for Grand Blue. So there's that. However, for a free-to-play player, unless you're able to save for the 90 guarantee, and especially the 180 guarantee, which is the safer one if you really want the banner character, unless you actually save for those, it's going to be rough. Because if you're just doing YOLO pulls and not building towards that guarantee, your chances are dramatically lower. Like, they're 0.6 instead of 6%. They're 1/10 the rate of Grand Blue on a fest. So, and I've seen this play out because a lot of people in the Discords I'm on have talked about how they're just still running like all 4 stars because the rates are really yikes. So if you're disciplined though, and you can save up for the guarantees, the rates are all right. But if you're just trying to YOLO characters, this is a bad game to do that for, especially if you're free to play. Also, I didn't mention this before, but I should mention it. There is a thing where you ram characters into themselves. So, like, if you get a second copy of Venti, you can combine it into Venti in order to unlock constellation levels. So, as you see, my Venti is Constellation 1, starts at 0. And the constellation levels all do unique things, some which are very potent. Venti's is he fires 3 arrows instead of 1 with aim shot. So if you're doing an aim shot Venti build, that's pretty significant. Some characters like Villuc, I've got him at 1 as well, are incredibly powerful at 6 Constellation, but that requires 6 copies of him, which is really, really rough to try and farm. But that is a thing to know as well. So that's what happens when you get duplicate. And all the characters, if you manage to take them Constellation 6, it's not like a slight power boost for all of them. Some of them are like completely different characters. If you manage to get them like their important Constellation levels, they start doing tremendously more damage. Like Constellation 6 Fischl is gonna be on this like above a lot of 5 stars at 0 Constellation in terms of her output. She will do a tremendous amount of damage at Constellation 6. And yeah, Constellation 6 Villuc is gonna demolish anything in the game. So like keep that in mind if you're worried about pulling. All right, we're talking about it, so I might as well try to do it on air. I'm gonna try and YOLO a 5-star. So I'm gonna pull on the permanent banner because I'm probably not pulling the Venti banner that much more really at all until it goes away. So my rules on the permanent banner do stay. So we'll do 10 pulls. I'll do them one by one to draw us out a little bit. We can experience excitement together. Let's see if I manage to pull a 5-star on that 0.6% rate. I hold out hope. Okay, 3-star. Click that thing away. Again, another one. Come on, 5-star. Give me a Jean. Jean. I still don't know if you're supposed to say her name is Jean or Jean. But it's probably Jean, actually. I don't know. Hi, Sig. Stiggy, Mommy wants a 5-star. You're a black cat. Actually, black cats are supposed to be unlucky, but Stig's a lucky cat. Sticky is a lucky black cat, so it's fine. Are you a lucky black kitty? Little baby. Okay, no. What are you on? 5? Okay, there's a purple. Nice. Okay. I mean, it's a purple. It's not terribly exciting, but it is a purple. We've got 4 more guys. I don't know if we're gonna pull a 5-star. Come on, yellow crystal. Yellow crystal, I believe in us. 3 more pulls. I'm not using any more of my my saved up stuff because I want to save for another 10 pull, but we've got 2 more to do. I need you to take a moment, channel your energy into these last 2 pulls. Let's get a 5-star. Let's get Jean. Come on. No, that's not a 5-star. 1 more. This girl right here. Look at her. She's so awesome. She's like a blonde Catalina. Let's do it. Dandelion Knight coming home. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. That's not turning yellow. That's a 3-star. Feels bad. But yes, that's that's what the gacha's like. Conclusions, and I'm going to try and do this while fighting Storm Talon, one of the bosses, so we'll see if I get a coherent thought across. Do I recommend the game? Absolutely. This is a super robust, enjoyable experience. Yeah, there's some things that are going to be hang-ups for people. The gacha rate, it's really low. Like, it's frighteningly low how rare SSRs are in this. Oh my god. Yeah. But I don't think that should stand your way of checking it out, because this is such a robust game that's very enjoyable for completely free. Like, if you're into action RPGs, if you're into Breath of the Wild, if you're into like anime games at all, this is one you want to check out on the merits of that. It's just a very good game. Yeah, having good characters and weapons from gacha are going to help you get further. But you should be able to get through the main story just fine with the default, with the free characters. I don't think it's going to completely stop your progression or anything. So don't let that prevent you from checking this out at all, because I think you'd be missing out. It's just a very enjoyable experience. I can't get over some of the technical achievements here. The fact that it's cross-platform across, well, phone, console, and PC, and it's completely free to play. If you don't want to buy in the gacha, is really cool. And also, you can totally get good stuff through free to play. You just got to save up for those guaranteed rates on the banners. And man, like, this is a cool ass fight. I haven't tried this fight on my phone. My phone should be able to handle it fine, but I wonder how well that plays. I should try that out. But yeah, no, Genshin Impact's a really dope game. If you've only been playing games like Grand Blue, then you should check out Genshin, just because like it gives you an idea of what is possible out there. And this is definitely going to be one of those games where it's going to cause people to reevaluate what is possible in a phone game. I'm freaking getting murdered by this idiot. Let's see if we can finish out this fight, and then we'll finish up the video. Gotta kill a Dargan on air. Good luck, mess his little thingy up. Midnight Phantasmagoria. Come on. Kill it. Fischl, you do so much damage? No! Okay, one more cycle. I need Kiki to heal. Oh my god. Can I actually use food here? Oh, I can. So there's also a cooking mechanic. I didn't mention that earlier, but you can collect recipes and materials to cook stuff. So if that's also if like cooking alone sells you on this, then well, there is cooking. Fischl, kill it. Kill it. You do so much damage. Man, Fischl does so much damage. Climb that stupid dragon. Break that stupid thingy. Alright, there we go. One Dargan down. There you go. Impressions of Genshin Impact. Let me know if you check it out. We can play co-op sometime. I can hang out with you. And that's another thing I should mention. Again, there is co-op play. You can play about the 4 other people. If you play with 4 people, then each one of them would take one of the party slots. Yeah, that's just wild for a mobile game. But yeah, anyways, that's been my impressions of Genshin Impact. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you do try to check it out. Let me know if you need any tips. I'll catch you guys all later. Bye!